back, you guys saw me put together this painting right here. Give you a little close-up on this camera. And I had a lot of fun with this. So when I came across this big canvas at my parents' place that was not being used, I thought, hey yo, let's paint it. So that's what I'm gonna do today. I don't think I'm gonna go for the landscape vibe. I think I wanna do something more with color, and I don't really know what direction I'm going. I'm just gonna let the paint take me where it wants to go. I'm sure it'll be fine. And because I'm about to embark on this adventure, I thought I'd take you guys along with me, do a little time-lapse situation, sip coffee. It's good. And yeah, I know a lot of people are painting right now. It's something that I've been doing a little bit more lately. I've really been enjoying it. But I'm gonna pop on some music now, let the voiceover start because I need some music to get myself in the zone. Shameless plug, you can follow me on Spotify by clicking the link in the description box below. I make monthly playlists every month. Let's get going. The paints you'll be seeing me use in today's video are acrylic paints from Michaels. I bought a set that came with 24 colors, and it has proved to be a really great base to start with. There's a pretty good range of colors, and really any shades that aren't included I can make by simply mixing colors together. I think I ended up getting them on sale too, so that was a nice added bonus. I'm really only having fun with paints right now. It's not a hobby that I'm quite ready to invest heavy into, so these supplies are more than enough for me right now. I went into this painting session really not wanting to follow a tutorial because in the past I pretty much exclusively painted while following tutorials on YouTube, which, as a side note, I do highly recommend. If painting seems intimidating to you, use a video because watching a step-by-step tutorial is a lot easier to follow than just using a picture as a reference, and I think more often than not you're going to be surprised by what you can achieve with your paintbrush. But since I've done that a few times already, I wanted to see what I could come up with if I went into a painting session with absolutely no ideas on what I wanted to do. And let me emphasize it, I went into this with no clue what was gonna happen. So it was a bit nerve-wracking, but the first thing I tried to focus on was finding a color palette that spoke to me. As you have seen, I mixed together a combination of yellow, red, and white to come up with this beautiful pink that I brushed all over the bottom of the canvas. Immediately when I applied it, I felt like it was part of a sunset, so I went in with a little bit of yellow towards the right and blended them together. For the top of the canvas, I wanted some contrast, so I went opposite from warm tones and mixed together a blue and bridged the more yellowish pinky parts of the canvas with the blue by adding a seafoam green and whacking my brush back and forth trying to blend them all. I was really happy with the color palette at this point, but had really no clue as to what I was going to be painting. I did, however, discover that stippling my brush created this really beautiful texture that I decided to carry down the canvas. I made the bottom more of a reddish stipple and transitioned it into something more purpley towards the top. I think this ended up being my favorite thing that I did on this canvas, and I honestly wish I would have done more of this, if not even continued the stippling all over the canvas, because I just find it so beautiful in comparison to paint strokes. If you're curious about what I'm blending my paints on, I will have this palette pad linked in the description box below along with everything else I'm using in today's video. Each sheet has a glossy finish that makes it really easy to blend without the paint absorbing into the paper, and it makes cleanup also really simple. At this point, I was looking at this painting and feeling inspired by the contrast between the dark red stippled areas and the more clean bright areas on the upper right of the canvas. To me, it almost looked like the darker areas were kind of like invading in on the happiness in the painting, and I feel like that image is a great representation of hardship and stress, anxiety, all of those not so great things and emotions that sometimes feel like invaders to our happiness. So that's kind of the theme that I decided to continue forward with. The one thing that instantly came to mind when I started brainstorming symbols for happiness was daisies. In the words of Kathleen Kelly, daisies are the friendliest flower and also conveniently pretty simple to paint. So I just decided to start plopping daisies everywhere. You'll notice I drew a lot of these super close together at the bottom right of the canvas and then had them more spaced out further out. Added some leaves here and there just to help some of the daisies stand out. I don't particularly love my leaves, but they're green and I guess leafish in shape, so I am taking it as a win. I also wasn't a huge fan of how blank the bluer areas of the canvas were, so I thought a great way to bring some of those warmer tones up into the canvas without taking over would be to experiment with splatter. And let me tell you, I had a severe lapse in judgment here because for some reason I thought splattering paint, a task that thrives in unpredictability, while wearing a shirt that I didn't want to get paint on was somehow a good idea. I sometimes question how I earned a university degree when I make mistakes like this, but I am happy to report that the top I got paint on had no stains after it went in the wash. But still, maybe don't wear clothes you care about when you paint. A pretty obvious tip, I know, but seeing as I didn't follow it, I feel the need to say it here. I ended up coming across this quote from Robin Sharma that says, "Change is hard at first, messy in the middle, and gorgeous at the end." And I absolutely love this quote because I think it describes change so accurately, and it really fits in with the theme that started coming to mind for this canvas when I was painting. I always feel such complicated emotions towards change because a part of me is always sad about what I feel I'm losing, and another part of me really appreciates the growth that comes with the change. So it's always a lot to process, and each experience with change has a different processing experience, but ultimately I do take comfort in the fact that eventually life settles into something normal again. But it's definitely something that comes with dosages of pain and happiness. And I feel like both of those feelings are kind of being expressed right now on my canvas. There's my painting. I really like the fact that I was able to create meaning with my painting, and I think that's the thing that I love most about it. From a technical standpoint, it's definitely not like my favorite thing that I've ever created. Like I mentioned in the voiceover, I would have liked more of this stippled area to be brought up here. Bluish yellow stipple would have been beautiful, and my daisies could like use a little work. But the process of putting this together was just, it was just nice to just see what came to mind. And I do feel like, as cheesy as it might sound, like some of the emotions that I am feeling right now with change definitely came up when I just kind of let my brain do what it wanted to do. So I know I'm always talking about things being like therapeutic, but I do find painting to be one of those activities that you can just get lost in. If you don't take yourself too seriously with it, then it's just an enjoyable time with some colorful liquid. One thing I do realize is that having a paint studio where you could just like work on a canvas for a longer period of time, I feel like would be so much fun, because I really tried to rush to get this done in one afternoon. And I feel like if I would have just like let myself work on it over the course of a few days, I probably would have had some different ideas. But alas, I do not want to leave all my painting supplies out on the kitchen table every day. I just gotta find a spot in my room to put this thing, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching along today. A little bit of a different video, but I had fun with it. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have ever dabbled in the world of painting yourself. Have you done a Bob Ross painting? I've done one. I feel like you should do one. They're a great time. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button, the subscribe button, the notification bell, all the things, and I will see you all very soon with a new video. Until then, bye everyone. The painting says goodbye too. That splatter right there was the one that was responsible for getting on my shirt. Oh, you naughty splatter, you.